Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz and this is Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is June 29th. And this is a Search Buzz Video Recap from the past week of the search news that we covered over at SERoundtable.com at the Search Engine Roundtable. This is my last time doing this Search Buzz Video Recap in this office. We're moving after 10 years, so it's pretty interesting. And I wanted to go through this week's topics. So the first thing is Google Panda. We had a refresh, version 3.8 that we call it, on June 25th. It was a refresh only. It did not have any algorithm updates to it. And it was, we labeled it 3.8. Outside of that, it was just a normal fluctuation. Google said it only affected less than 1% of queries worldwide. There weren't so many complaints about it, but there definitely were some complaints about it. That happened on June 25th. Then I wrote a post about what's the difference between a Google Penguin update and an unnatural link warning. Obviously, we know unnatural link warnings now are done manually. They're actual things that are actually Googlers look at your site and say you have unnatural links. It's a manual type of action that can be reversed. And the Google Penguin update is automated. Now the question is Google Penguin mostly about links or not? Most SEOs say yes. So how do you know the difference? If I had to guess, I'd say unnatural links is more about link networks, paid links, blog networks, and unnatural link patterns, whereas Penguin is more about low-quality links with weird-looking anchor text plus other SEO-related link building campaigns. That's my guess. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not Google, but that's how I would classify and differentiate the two. Talking about links, Google's John Mueller went ahead and, I never seen this before, a Googler actually went ahead and said, for this specific website, we don't penalize sites that it's being linked to. Let's say website A is linking to website B. Google usually doesn't say, hey, we're not, it doesn't talk about what it's doing. But there's been a lot of discussion in the SEO world about a site called updowner.com. And webmasters are nervous because they're getting lots of unnatural link warnings, and they also have lots of links from this updowner.com website. And John from Google said, in Updowner's case, we just ignore those links. We're not giving you penalties if they're linking to you. We just ignore the links. And I've never seen Google come out and say, for this site, we're giving a penalty. For that site, we're ignoring the links. Google has said these links are affecting you specifically, but they never said they ignore links on a specific site. I've never seen that before, at least. We have a post about that today. Because of all this, what's going on, there's a lot of discussion around the SEO world about link removal companies. There's lots of new companies popping up today, in the past week or past few months or so, about companies specifically designed to remove links that might be hurting you. Some of them are tools like delete backlinks, link delete, removem.com. These are different sites out there that are specifically targeting removing links to your site. And it's just interesting that Google's creating yet another industry or another type of business category. First it was buying links, building links, SEO, all these types of things, and now it's removing links. Speaking about removing links, as we know, Google has gone on record about saying they're building a Disavow link tool. And who knows when it will launch, but we're figuring in about a few months or so. And Google rarely goes on record about what they're building, what they're going to do, and they have good reason to do that because Bing went ahead and beat them to it, and last night they announced that they have a Disavow link tool in the big webmaster tools. The question is, as Vanessa Fox clearly laid out at Search Engine Land, was why do we need to disavow links on Bing when Bing specifically says most links will not hurt you, or pretty much all links will not hurt you, it just won't help you. And then she goes through all the different cases where Bing has said something on the record and said another thing on the record, and it's pretty confusing. And I asked Dwayne Forrester, who's Bing's webmaster person, and even that response wasn't so clear. In any event, it was interesting because Bing beat Google to the punch, and everybody's expecting Google to come out with this, not Bing, and Bing went ahead and did it. You could access it under Bing Webmaster Tools, and there's a link to Disavow links in there. And we blogged about that this morning. One of the things that I wrote about this week is related to this, was where it seems like Bing is trying to win the hearts of SEOs and webmasters. And why are they doing that? Maybe they want to maybe they think that these early adopters, which are SEOs and webmasters, could change market share. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But this is one more example of the Bing Webmaster Tools adding a disavow link before Google to kind of get and rally the troops, the SEOs, to support them and try to change market share by changing early adopter opinion. And I went ahead and said how I feel Webmaster World is kind of more Bing Pro, and obviously all the Webmaster World people went ahead and argue with me. And it's funny because constantly people telling me either I'm Bing Pro or anti-Bing, or Google Pro and anti-Google, and I'm neither. I like both companies. In any event, it's just funny to see that as well. But I wrote a whole long post about how can SEOs change market share, mind share, if they are catered to, and maybe convince the rest of the market to switch to the search engine. I don't believe so, but who knows. Google launched the future of mobile search yesterday at the Google, or 2 days ago at the Google I/O show. They discussed it. Basically, Greg Sterling had a good explanation about it, where he explained Google launched an improved UI, a user interface, adding things like knowledge graph and more things like structured search results. They also added a Siri female-like voice to their Google Voice system. And they launched Google Now. Google Now is basically, it's pretty cool. It basically shows you cards of information based off of what's happening now or going to happen soon to you. Let's say you're, for example, you want to know what your next appointment is, and it will show you automatically without you having to look at it. If you're driving somewhere and you have an appointment to go somewhere, it would actually show you directions beforehand and maybe show you traffic. And if you're sitting in a restaurant, it might even show you the menu for that restaurant. So it's definitely pretty cool. Take a look at that. We posted about that yesterday. Matt Cutts at XMX Advanced in Seattle a few weeks ago was asked a question which I've been troubling. I wanted an answer for a while. It's like, should you follow affiliate links? I mean, those are links that are actually paid. You actually earn money from affiliate links, so they're a type of paid link. And Matt Cutts said, you really don't have to for the majority of things, because we know commission junction, we know link share, we know all the major affiliates, and we know how to handle that. But if you are at all nervous and you're using maybe a smaller affiliate network, you should definitely follow those, because those are actually paid links, and you should definitely follow them. So I'm thinking this is going to go stronger and stronger, where affiliate links will have to actually be followed according to Google's terms of service or Webmaster guidelines. Google published about 10 or so videos on SEO and related to SEO topics. I posted them on June 28th. One was from Miley, who talked about SEO for starters in 10 minutes. But there's definitely a lot of cool videos here, which you definitely want to take a look at. If you play them all at the same time, it's kind of freaky, because it all starts the same way. It's pretty freaky, but definitely give that a try. AdSense publishers in New Zealand are going to get paid 40% less than they were expecting to. That was because they inverted the conversion rate of U.S. currency to the New Zealand dollar, and because of that, these publishers are getting paid about 40% less. Google said they're actually working on it. They'll fix it. Don't worry. And they've done this before, so I wouldn't worry. You'll get paid, but it might take a month or two to get paid what you did not get paid this past month. Google is also testing hiding the top black bar. We posted about this on June 27th, and a lot of people in the past hated the black bar. I don't know why. It's just a thin little black bar, but they hated it. And now there's a way to actually remove it by just pretty much adding $ESRCH equals AGAD ::public to the URL. Again, if you want to look at this and click on it, June 27th at SEOroundtable.com. Owner responses from Google Maps is broken again, so if you want to respond to a comment left on your Google reviews in Google Maps, you cannot, because there's a problem with it, and Google's had several problems over the course of past 2 years with it. There was an awesome skydive video for Google Glasses. Basically, Google I/O, Sergey Brin, Google's co-founder, went ahead and did a live demo of Google Glass by having skydivers dive down to the convention center where the Google I/O developer conference was happening. They went ahead and dived onto the building, jumped down the building, rode bikes, did crazy stunts, drove right into the session and came up on stage with Sergey, which is a pretty cool video. You should probably want to take a look at that. Also, YouTube, some guy from a YouTuber actually did a video with a YouTube engineer asking why do videos that are popular get stuck at around 300, 301 views. No, it has nothing to do with a 301 redirect. This basically has to do with spam detection and how Google's YouTube figures out not real or fake or fraudulent views. Finally, there was a cool Google logo this past week for Alan Turing. there's a lot of history about him. He basically developed the code to crack Germans' code. He also developed a Turing machine, which is pretty cool. And Google made a logo, one of the most complex and most scientific and most geeky logos I've ever seen Google make before. And I have a video how it works. It's pretty cool. Martin from Germany did this great video explaining how it works and everything, so props to him. And we have more information about that on June 23rd at SEMroundtable.com. Thanks so much for listening. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Today is June 29th. This is the last video recap that I'm doing in the Rusty Brick official Rusty Brick offices, the first one we ever had in an official building. And we'll be moving to a new location next week. It's about 5-10 minutes from here. And hopefully the lighting will be better. And I'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys next. Bye.